Hey, bitch. It's Jamie, that's me. Listen, I just got a chance to check out two interviews, okay? One was with Color Me Pink, and I believe her name is Charissa. I hope I said it correctly. Charissa. And the other is with Jassi and Carlos King. And y'all know, for the people that don't know, Jazzy is a cast member of Real Housewives of Potomac. She's one of the newbies. And on the show, she was trying to explain her relationship, right? She was trying to give the breakdown of her relationship because the ladies were asking. And the things that she was saying was not necessarily lining up for a lot of people. And so, give me one second because I want to make sure that I'm saying her name right. Okay, Charlisa is her name. Okay. So Jassi was saying things on Real Housewives of Potomac that was not necessarily lining up. Things did not seem to be clear. Okay. Um, the mother of the children to Jass's fiance, Mr. Darius, came out under one of the posts on the blogs and pretty much called Jassy out, for saying some things or whatever, right? That led Jassi to do an interview. Now, she did an interview with Reality, and I didn't know anything about that interview until I watched Carlos's interview where he referenced her, and I ain't really had time to go back to check it out because I was like, I want to get this video out because I don't watch so much already that I want to get this out. I'll likely check that one out, and if she says anything different that I care to, want to mention in this one, or come back and do another video about, I will. But anywho, shout out to them for getting all of these interviews and bringing the people something so we can get a bit of clarity on what's really going on. Okay, now, like I said, Charlisa had some things to say about Jassi. Jassi came onto social media and she had some things to say as well. She also kind of took a shot at Color Me Pink because Color Me Pink did an interview. I'm sorry, not an interview, but a video regarding her timeline a few weeks ago. And I believe she commented on her page because Keisha referenced it in her interview. Okay. So a lot has been going on. A lot has been said, and we are going to get into it. And let me just go ahead and say this. People will be getting clocked from all sides. All right. People will be getting clocked from all sides. All right. Being very clear. If it's not adding up, if it doesn't make sense, I'm just going to say my opinion about it because it's my personal. And if anyone doesn't like it, it's not my problem. Okay. There's that. So let's get into it. This young lady, first of all, what I want to say right out the gate, very beautiful woman. Very, very beautiful. I think I've said that before. Seems to be a very genuine person as I'm continuing, as I'm starting out listening to the interview. There were things that she said that I'm not going to lie, I raised the red flag. Like, girl, what? And we're going to get into it. So, first of all, she talks about how she met him, and she said that she met him at a gas station. All right. She says she didn't know much about him. She's never checked his IG page or looked him up or did anything like that. She didn't even know that he was an NFL player. All right. She hit him up on a random day. So, first of all, she said something about getting out of a pretty bad toxic situation. So, she wasn't really open to like getting to know nobody and then like that. So, when she met him, she didn't even give him her number. She just really gave him like, her IG or whatever, but she didn't like go and check his IG and see what he was talking about. It was just like, oh, okay, whatever, child. Another person trying to talk to me. Okay. So one day, I guess as time went on, she hit him up randomly and they pretty much went from there. Okay. She said that he seemed to be sweet. He was charming, really interesting because it's not really different from what Jassi has said about him as well in her experience with him. Now, I believe he had just got signed to the NFL in 2019, and then I think he may have switched from one team in 2019 to a different team in 2020. But they didn't make it official until 2020. I don't know if that's when she met him exactly. I can't remember the time frame. I don't know if she met him in 2019. I think she met him in 2020, and they later made it official in 2020. Now, she did admit that there was a lot of infidelity that was taking place within that relationship. She said she was getting harassed, I say severely, on social media, okay? Somebody was harassing her. It got to one point where somebody even had her phone number to send text messages to her, okay? So it was real crazy, and it's super crazy to me considering the fact that he's a newbie. And I don't even think, in my opinion, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even think he was just like this huge name at the time. I don't know what his draft pick number was or whatever, but I wouldn't think that his name, let me see, Darius Harris. So let me see. I think that's his name, Darius Harris. I wonder what his NFL draft. I wonder where he got drafted. What was his number? He was number 30 in the damn draft. I believe it was. Is that right? In 2019. So again, it's not like he had this huge name or anything, maybe a decent enough name, but for people to just be harassing you right out the gate is giving sketchy betchy. But let's keep going. Okay, so she speaks on her pregnancy. Okay, I believe the first son they had ended up being born prematurely, from my understanding. She talked about her second pregnancy, where Jassi stated that Darius did not know that Charissa was pregnant until a few months into her pregnancy. So I remember Jassi mentioning that on the show, and this is where Charissa speaks on it. She says that's actually not true. She says she got pregnant in June on her birthday, and he was very aware. And she says, when she had the symptoms and things, she told them, they took a test, all of that. Now, I remember mentioning that in my video where I said it's kind of hard to believe that this woman did not let him know right out the gate that she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Especially once she started experiencing symptoms, on top of the fact that she already has a child by you. That didn't really, make full sense to me, because something Jassi said on the show was, oh, she didn't tell him until 2 to 3 months later, which resulted in me being delayed in knowing. He was delayed in knowing, therefore I was delayed in knowing. That's not fully accurate. So Charissa says that she and Darius were together throughout her whole pregnancy. It seems like they may have been together throughout, well, I would think both pregnancies, but the first pregnancy, I do recall her mentioning that she was being so severely harassed after she found out she was pregnant and stuff, that she kind of took a break from him. And it was a lot of infidelity, cheating and things, so she kind of took a break from him. I guess they were kind of still together, but on a break a little bit, or whatever they want to call it. So there's that. My question is, what I put in what I wrote in my notes, and I feel like some of my questions may have been answered, but in my notes I put, my question is, when did Jassi and him break up? Because Charissa mentioned in one of the comments that Jassi and Darius were broken up. So you got pregnant with him while he and her were broken up, or what? It seems like she got pregnant with the baby before him and Jassi even became a thing. So like I told y'all, when I said I feel like Jassi could potentially be telling the truth, and I gave y'all a breakdown lineup of that in my Real Housewives of Potomac video. So I don't really see her as a side, like a side chick. However, I do feel like there was some overlap, right? I think there was some overlap, but I don't see her as like a side chick, as far as like Charissa and Darius had this full blown relationship, and she just impeded on what they had going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't really see it like that, so I see why she wants to be adamant that she's not really a side chick or whatever, right? But anywho, Charissa also says that she was still in a relationship with him when they took those Christmas pictures. That's interesting, because he tried to make it appear as though they were not together. He was very adamant that they were not together at that time when those pictures took place. And I don't know what the hell to make of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be a situation, where you could be with your partner or whatever, y'all break up, but then when y'all come back together, it's not said that you guys are in a relationship, but y'all may fall back into the routine of things. So because to him, he didn't automatically say, oh yeah, we back together, I feel like they may have fallen back into the routine of things, which made Charissa believe like, we in a relationship. And if they were in a relationship, they had every right to have been in that relationship, because he wasn't dealing with Jassi at that time, right? So there's that. So she does say that he's a good dad, but he could be better. Okay. He can be better, because at some point in the interview, she does mention that he has only seen his kids 5 or 6 times this year. If that is indeed true, he definitely needs to do fucking better. Okay. Now I think y'all both gonna have to do better, because it's also giving that out of her own mouth, she didn't feel comfortable with her kids going to, she didn't feel comfortable with her kids being around Jassi. Okay, so at some point you guys are gonna have to get better, especially if he marries her, because that's gonna be his wife. So I am want to believe that part of the reason why he doesn't see the kids as much is because he may use the excuse of send them this way. You know, like I don't want to have to travel out there. I got everything for them here, so they can be comfortable at my house. Send them to me, and she's probably like, nah. If that girl is gonna be around you, then I don't feel comfortable with my kids being there with you too. I mean, being there with her. So no. If you want to see him, you're going to have to come out here. And I feel like that could, and this is just me speculating, that could be a little bit of the friction as to why he's not seeing the kids. But at the end of the day, I feel like, in my opinion, hey, you want to see your kids? If that means you got to get your ass on that flight, get your ass on that flight. Go see them babies, okay? Let's keep going. So then Keisha references a comment from Jassi saying that she and Darius were broken up from June 2023 to December 2023. And Charissa says she really didn't know of her and that they could have been dating during the time frame that that Jassi told Charissa they were dating, I guess. So she also says she and Jassi did speak on the phone in June of 2024, this year. And it really was about they're about to get married, so they having a conversation with each other, okay? So Jassi says that she met Darius when their son was 17 months old. That's when she met the baby. So if she had the little boy in 2020, I guess at the end of 2020, because I think because what Charissa says is that she and Darius got pregnant on their birthdays. So she got pregnant in January. I'm not sure. I guess that would be 2021. In 2021 on Darius's birthday. Later on that year, probably September, early October, maybe when she had the son, Cruz. But actually, no, I'm wrong because Cruz was premature. So she had Cruz much earlier, right, than expected. Okay, so there's that. Now, okay, yeah. So she met the baby at 17 months old. So she had him a little early. So somewhere in 2020 was when she met Darius, okay? And we'll get into hers later as to how she really met Darius, okay? And how all of that played out and everything, okay? But she told Miss Charissa that she met him when their son Cruz was 17 months old. Charissa says, I could believe that. I could believe that you did meet him around that time frame, okay? He meet a whole lot of people, so you could have met him then. She says that Jassi never said they were dating, though, but they stopped talking in June of 2023. She said because she was dating somebody else at that time. Now, for me, I kind of mentioned that on my video where I was telling y'all when she was talking about that 2-year time frame, and I was telling y'all, I said it could possibly, Jassi could be telling the truth, because maybe they were talking at some period and they weren't officially together. And for Jassi, I guess she sees it as, I'm not going to smash on you until you make it official with me. So technically our relationship didn't start until we made it official and we started engaging in sex, okay? Even when we made it official, the baby was already born before we even crossed that type of sexual line. So when people try to tie individuals to being side chicks because you were over there, a lot of people do it based on when you start fucking on that lady man. Some people do it based on when you start talking to somebody else's man, right? But Jassi wants to be very clear that, listen, okay, y'all can get that label up off of me because we didn't even smash until after that child was born. Okay, so y'all, I'm gonna let y'all speculate, do what y'all want to do anyway, because the child is okay. Now, they got back together around Super Bowl time, and Charissa didn't know any of this until a fake number texted her with a screenshot of Jassi and Darius. And that's why Charissa confronted Darius. So she didn't even know anything about them being together or none of that, okay? I guess that wasn't until that, I think January 2023, which was when he flew her out. He flew Miss Jassi out to the Super Bowl, and I guess that's when she found out about her or something like that, okay? Where somebody, I guess, took pictures of them and sent it to her phone. That's crazy. I'm like, girl, they got your number? How these people get your number? So let me just go and say this. At some point in the interview, right, Charissa mentions that she believes it could be Darius texting or somebody from the family. I believe that. I believe it may be somebody close to him, because how the fuck would a stranger just get your number and just start texting you all of a sudden? Something about that ain't right. Okay. Now, she goes on to say that Darius downplayed her and says it was nothing like that. Basically, downplayed Miss Jassi to Charissa, Lisa, trying to say that it was nothing like that. So Charissa, excuse me, says that she has the text messages to prove that he was up there denying Jassi and saying that it was nothing more than that. Well, in a sense, it kind of wasn't. A little bit. Like, it was a little bit of something, because he knew he was pursuing that girl and he sit up there lying to his baby mama like you wrong as hell for that. But at the same time, it wasn't nothing for real until they made it official, like late February, early March or something like that, or sometime in March, whenever they made it official, somewhere in that time frame. That's when it really was something. But you know how they like to play on words, because they be lying. Don't gotta niggas be lying. Anywho, so my thing is what I put. I said my thing is, were these messages shown to Jassi as well? You're saying that you have messages to prove that he sat up there and was denying their relationship or whatever. Jassi honestly will probably tell you, well, we really weren't. He was pursuing me. Yeah, I flew out, came to it. He had been trying a whole year trying to get me out there, so I finally came out there. So actually, it wasn't nothing for me. He was trying to see about me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't make it official or nothing like that. Like, I mean, we was talking, but it wasn't like that. Right? So she may still, whatever. But at the time when I was watching the interview first, the Charissa interview, I said, were these messages shown to Jassi? Did she refuse these messages, or did you show them to her and she still didn't give a damn? Okay? After watching her interview, now I'm like, she probably wasn't going to care anyway, because technically, they weren't in a relationship. But anywho, so Jassi has accused this woman of harassing her from a fake account. And this is according to the messages and the comments that were put onto Color Me Pink's page, okay? And I wrote in all caps, like, ma'am, y'all both were harassed by strangers. That is what it's a giving, okay? For you to say that it was her, it's not cool. Now, you may have felt like it was her because maybe that person was saying specific things that only you feel a few of y'all would know, you, him, and her. But, girl, somebody else was harassing the both of y'all. In my personal, and the more this interview went on, I'm willing to believe that it's somebody close to Darius if it wasn't himself, okay? Now, let's keep going. So, Jassi says that, in the comments, that she wasn't a home wrecker, okay? She says she isn't a home wrecker side chick. And I said that I agree that she's not, okay? But that nigga she with is, okay? Period. Okay. That man that you with is, okay? He is giving a piece of home wrecker because he wrecked his own home, because let your girl, your first girl tell it. It was a whole lot of infidelity and things that was going on, and it was given nonstop. It's giving 7th Streeter, and it won't stop. Oh. It's what it was given. Okay? So he is in my personal. Now, Charissa says, how do you know what type of dad he is if you've never even been around my children and you haven't seen him interact with my children? This is what Charissa says when Jassi paints him out to be an active, or shall I say, a dedicated. That's what she said. He's a dedicated father to his kids. So in all fairness, what I wrote for my notes, okay, I said she doesn't have to be around him to know. I said she doesn't have to be around the kids to know that, he's a dedicated dad. Just like when we saw her on the show and she was FaceTiming him and she was like, oh, you with the kids and stuff like that. Like, she doesn't have to be around the kids to know how much of a dedicated dad he is to the kids. I said knowing every time that he's with the kids, seeing how many times he shows up for the kids, providing for the kids, is how she could know by simply observing how much of a dedicated dad he is at the close distance that she's at. All right. I said, now earlier, Charissa said that he was a good dad. He could be better, but he's a good dad. And the fact that Jassi can see from where she is how dedicated of a dad he is, in my opinion, is more of a reason that she should also be able to see where he can do better at. Okay? I said also, what I would like to know is, what does Jassi define as a dedicated dad? It could be the things that I listed. It could be some other things that we don't know nothing about that she may feel like he's a dedicated dad. So I think it's also just based on her definition of what she feel a dedicated dad is, for her to say that. All right. But needless to say, Charissa even said that he was a good dad. He could be better. Okay. And I feel like when she says he could be better, I feel like, in my opinion, I think she may mean, and it's just enough. This ain't a fact. She didn't say this. I'm saying this. I think she may mean his presence. I think he may be a good dad where he'll talk to the kids on a regular basis, check in on them, provide for them. However, he may not be as present. Okay, because I think they could potentially be in two different states or something. So that may, be an issue. All right. What else? So Jassi says that Charissa told her she will be running to blogs with Christmas pictures of them. Now, this is what Jassi at the time was accusing Charissa of being the person that she was communicating with behind a fake profile that was saying all kind of things to Jassi and willing to run to the blogs with certain information. And Charissa is just like, well, girl, I haven't even talked to you. Last time I really talked to you, I had a conversation with you ever really was back in June. I'm not harassing you from no page. And now Jassi, with the interview she did with Carlos, she's now saying that it was a fake page. She's no longer saying that it was Charissa. Because now I think she's seeing how crazy it kind of is to say that it's her when you don't really have proof to say that it is her behind those pages. I know it could potentially seem like that based on the information that's being said. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if you don't know that to be an actual factual, then just say that it's a fake page, right? Charissa says that she got upset about the comment from Jassi that Jassi, hold on, let me see. Okay, so reading some of the comments that Color Me Pink was reading off to Miss Jassi, she ended up getting upset by some of the things that was being said. And she says, girl, I'm not worried about Jassi. Charissa like, girl, I'm not worried about you. Okay, I'm not worried about you at all. She says anyone that still has access to your man is not your man. Any woman that still got access to your man is not your man. Okay, and she has access to him and says that she could have him if she wanted him, is what she says. And I'm gonna be honest now. And some part of me was like, well, can you really have him? And if you can, in what way can you have him? Can you have him in the way that you really want him? Because I think that she would have wanted to have been engaged to him, right? Now, granted, just off of the fact that she can even have your man like that, even if it ain't engaged type thing, but like that, that's not a good look, okay? That's not a good look now, okay? So he got that. You're gonna have to check your fiance a piece, okay? Because she should have access to him like that. All right. All right, so I said it's very unfortunate because I think he is the issue and no one is really acknowledging that, even though I feel like they kind of do. They kind of do acknowledge it. As you continue to watch the interviews, they kind of do acknowledge that he's a problem. Jassi did say that neither one of them are angels, like meaning Darius, meaning Charissa, are not angels, okay, when it comes to this overall situation. I don't think any person is an angel in this situation, but I will say that I don't see Jassi as a side chick. I don't see that. Okay. I do see that man being the villain. That's what I do see. Okay. I do see other things about Jassi, but side chick, no. But I do see a little piece. Okay. Let's see. Charissa says that since Halloween, it appears of this year, he has reached out to her multiple times trying to fuck on her. When he came down to see the kids for Halloween, he got a hotel. He was trying to get her to come back to the hotel because he wanted to fuck on her. Okay? Charissa also says that she was supposed to go out there last week. Now, when this interview was done, I'm not sure. But let's say the interview was done earlier this week. She said she was supposed to go out there last week to spend time with him. They were supposed to spend time together. That's not even a good look either. Knowing that this man now has a fiance and you're over here talking about how you were supposed to go. It sounds to me that you were going to go, but he must have pissed you off, so you changed your mind. That's what it sounds like to me. So that's not a good look either, in my personal. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, yeah. So I said, okay. So Charissa said she was supposed to go out there last week for them to spend time together. I said in Charissa, that's why ain't nobody a saint, because they NIGGA a fool, and you know he got a fiance too, and you still trying to link. Leads me to think, hold on, what I said, and you still trying to link because that's your BD and you had him first, yikey dikey, okay? At least that's what it leads me to think, okay? You feel like you probably still got access to him because that is your baby daddy and you came before her, or whatever the case is, or maybe y'all just operate like this toxicity since 2020. I don't know, but I feel like as much as it was a moment to call out her man and be like, your man out here doing this and that, you know, I feel like in my personal, it don't make you look good either. Just a little piece, okay? Now, Charissa says that she's glad he moved on, but he ain't good for nobody and shouldn't be marrying nobody. I agree. I do. Just a little bit. Okay? Just a little bit. I do agree. Now she says if you find out about somebody's son a day before the Super Bowl and now in a relationship and y'all buying houses in SHI, that's crazy, basically. But I think that's another thing. Like, we don't know when she actually Charissa thinks that she found out about her child a day before the Super Bowl. But that is not I don't think that's what Jassi said. We'll get into hers, but I don't think she found out about, or did she find out around that time about the baby? Because he didn't tell her right out the gate. The baby had been had already by the time he and her really made it official and started to really see each other. And they still were moving very fast, in my opinion. But maybe she didn't care, right? Because whatever happened technically happened before her. But anywho, there's that. They were moving fast. Anywho, Charissa, I says, is happy but also pissed at the same time. Because in my opinion, I feel like she's pissed because from her understanding, they were still kind of in a relationship. He's going back to his old shit, and this time he's taking things too far where he's inviting a BITCH to come out to a Super Bowl and all of this stuff. And then next thing you know, you guys are about to, like, y'all are progressing in your relationship. Y'all go on to the point where y'all get engaged, and you got down on one knee to propose to her way quicker than you did for me. And I'm the one that had your 2 damn kids, right? So I feel like she of course she felt the way. I don't think there's a single woman that would be in her position that would not feel away. So yeah, I said Charissa is happy but also pissed at the same time because she gave him the best of her, but he was willing to wife up somebody else instead of her. Okay, she does say that the issue ain't really him, it's you, meaning Jassi, because you're accepting his SHI. And I'm like, Charissa, baby, the issue is all of y'all for me. Okay, you're no better, in my opinion, than her because you're still a part of the circus. You're just now saying you're starting to date, and now you're no longer. I just let go of everything. But then you just said that you were about to link up with this man like a week ago. So because y'all was finna I was supposed to go out there a week ago so we could spend time together. Now, maybe you worded it wrong. Maybe he was asking you to come out a week ago or something. But how you worded it sounded like he wanted y'all had plans for you to come out there, but he pissed you the hell off. Okay? Let's see. And I don't know if I got it in my notes later, but I know at one point when she was airing all of this out, she also said she smashed on a man back in March and April of this year, around the same time that he's supposed to be in this relationship with Jassi. But then I remember her saying something like she didn't really take them to be that serious. She didn't take it as serious ever. And I mean, maybe he was still telling her it wasn't that like that. I don't know. But even after you find out that they did get engaged, it didn't really change too much or nothing anyway. So, I mean, you still was willing to do what you do, you know? And I can't fault you wholeheartedly because I think he's part of the problem too if he made you feel comfortable enough to think that shit was okay. Okay. Let's see. Jassi. Okay, yes. I said Charissa, baby, the issue is all of y'all. One, Jassi for letting him play in her face. Like she isn't smart enough to read in between the lines for me. Two, him being a clown ass, unfaithful ass nigga who is letting y'all go interview for interview. And I'm not really seeing him defend nobody. Now, granted, this is before I saw the interview with Carlos because he does step into the chat. Just a little piece, okay? And you Charissa, for never leaving the circus is what I said. The fact that you said that you were supposed to fly out last week to spend time with him when you know he got a fiance, yikes. And the fact that you're keeping up with them to know that they buying houses and shit or whatever it was, I was like, you be keeping up with them folks just a little bit. Now, she does go on to say, as this interview progresses later on after this point where she says she's not on, she be on social media, but not really like that. She don't really be watching the show to know anything. But I'm like, you know something. So you got to be keeping up with them in some kind of way. You know something. Even if you ain't watching the show, you still keeping up in a sense, right? But I do know that there was a time that Jassi said in her interview when it came to the house that she had a conversation with her and told her that they were getting engaged and they were buying a house. So that may be very well how she learned that information. But at the time that I was listening to this interview first, I was just like, you keeping up with them folks some kind of way. Okay, for you to know what they got going on. Now that could be also him telling her that, and if so, he missed his hell. But anywho, Charissa says that she doesn't know her, and she doesn't even have a reason to not like her because whatever he told you, you ran with it, and you shouldn't have done that. Basically, okay. I agree. I don't think that Jassi should run with everything this man. I just don't think so. I just don't. I just like once you catch somebody in something that's a piece of a lie, even if it ain't a whole lot, like once you catch somebody in something that makes you be like raise an eyebrow, if you have the opportunity to talk to the other person, do that. But what I did learn was that Jassi said something in her interview about not even knowing who the hell the BM was. She didn't even know. That's what she said. She didn't even know who the hell the girl was. So I guess she couldn't go to her to ask questions if she didn't know who she was. Anywho, Charissa says, where are we? Okay. Charissa says she didn't even know they were that serious because she fucked him back in March and April. That's what she said. Then says Jassi knows this and she told her this when they talked in June. I believe that she does know this. I believe Jassi did know that, and I believe that Jassi probably didn't care. I feel like Jassi could have been on that phone like, okay, thank you for letting me know. And I think after that call, him and her may have had it out and had a conversation, but I don't think they were going to show you the full-on division between them based on what you're saying. But I do believe that Jassi was made aware of that. Now, because I said, let's see. Okay, yeah, I just reiterated making a note that I feel like the situation was really sour for Charissa because it was like, NIGGA, how dare you sit up here and get me pregnant twice? You ain't even trying to marry me, but you got this other bitch that came out of nowhere and you just running off into the sunset with this hoe. Like, I think she was pissed. She was mad as fuck. And then yet again being played. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the frustration. Charissa says she walked away from the situation, and that's when I was like, did you? I can't tell. Okay? I don't know. And I'm just going off of that little last week comment. So she says people keep bringing up the ring situation to her. Like, oh, well, Jassi got the ring. Jassi got the ring. And she says the ring ain't nothing if he doing all of that. I definitely agree. If he doing all of that, girl, it can't be too much of everything, okay? I said, however, it doesn't mean that it's not something that you wanted, because even with you knowing how much he cheated on you throughout the relationship, when you were pregnant, not pregnant, whatever it was, you still desired that ring. You still desired to be that man's wife, which is what you go on to kind of talk about in the interview. So yeah, it's just you saying, that's why I'm like, ain't nobody no saint in this situation. Everybody is flawed, of course. And that's just how I feel about that. You could downplay it, but it doesn't mean that it's not something that you wanted. Even with those very things that he's still continuing to be as that man, you still continued to, one, put your body on the line when you smashed on him in April and March, and then also still desire the ring too. So you are fully aware. So you're absolutely right, though. The ring ain't nothing if it meaning all of that, but it don't mean that you didn't want it. So Jassi, okay. What else did I put? Yeah. Okay. So I said, Jassi, baby, you talk too much. You need to stop explaining what the hell. Because as Keisha is continuing to read these comments, I'm like, girl, you talk too much. Like, especially for you to be a person that's gonna continue to stick beside him, girl, just shut the hell up. Do you? Do you, girl? Okay, you're gonna do that anyway because that's just how you is. So Jassi says she's the only one to meet his family and to say that everyone was confused about the second pregnancy. Now, this is what Jassi says in the comments. So I put in my all caps, Jassi, baby, families lie too. And what I'm saying is that you lied here. Because when you put in the comments and say that you were the only one to meet the family, I don't understand why you're needing to make yourself the only one for some reason. That does come off a bit weird, in my opinion, especially when you went on to Carlos's interview and you made a note that the mom told you, I think it was for this year's Super Bowl, that this young woman was going to be coming to the Super Bowl or something like that, or at least the young lady knew that you were going to be there at the Super Bowl. So in order for that to happen, she had to have meet the family at some point. So it's just like, this is where I feel like you're too smart to let a young person that has a piece of money make you think otherwise. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the love is blind for me. So Charissa has pictures with the family, she says, videos with the family. Charissa admits that she does not get along with the family, though. Primarily that mama. Because to the mama, Darius can do no wrong in her eyes. And y'all already know, mamas and close family members, the immediate family in the household, be fake as hell. Okay, they'll see one person the brother done brought over there earlier that day or the day before, and then when you come around, they'll act like, what's up? Oh, you cute. Y'all look good together. They be doing all this extra shit, knowing that their whole family member is a player. It be like that. Okay. Let's see. She confirms that she met him in 2020 after he signed, and also confirmed that she doesn't watch the show. And that's where I feel like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. I said that confirms to me that you do keep up with them outside of the show, because how else do you know certain things about them? Anywho, that's when I said unless Darius told her, which definitely makes him more of the villain for me. Now she confirms that Darius is not on child support for the kids. Okay. She says that Jassi popped up at the Super Bowl when she wasn't supposed to be there. When Charissa got there, she saw that Jassi was sitting in her seat. Okay. And we'll get into the Super Bowl when we talk about that later. So then Charissa says that she thinks it's him coming from a fake page and the fake numbers texting her, telling her all this, like trying to expose, oh, look at this and look at that and Jassi this and Jassi that. I don't put nothing past his ass at this point. So it could be him. All right. What else? I said I do think there was overlap, but I think he was playing the both of them, and Jassi is only relying on what he is telling her, and it's not good, in my opinion. I don't think you should solely rely on him. I think some of it should be a little bit of, why you lying, nigga? Like, this ain't adding up, you know? Jassi really didn't have to mention that he was never in a real relationship when you know he had 2 kids with his ex that he was with since 2020. Okay. So I felt like in that moment that she was trying to make herself look good. And then when I went to go watch her interview, I'm like, well, damn, like, I don't know. I really don't, because I'm like, you didn't know really nothing about her. And some part of me was like, he wasn't telling you a whole lot about the baby mama. And then at the same time, you weren't trying to pry into that information either, because Jassi was more so focused on how he was treating her and how he's going to make sure he fly her out here and lavish her with these gifts and do this and do that. And da-da-da-da-da. That's all she was really concerned with. Okay. Charissa won't allow Jassi around her kids. I said I can't fully blame her on that because she doesn't know her. But I also think it's her feeling some way about them being engaged. Okay. Now, Charissa says they did discuss getting married before. And this is where she talks about that, which is why I believe that this is something that she wanted. She says they talked about being married. She says a pastor prophesied it to them to tell her that that is her husband. Ha ha ha. Okay, can we cue the Sierra laugh here, please? So the pastor says that that was her husband, and they also talked about having more children together. She says she told him, the pastor, Oh yeah. So when the conversation came back up, she says, "Well, the pastor told you that you was my husband." You know what I'm saying? So basically, she did want him to propose, but she got to a point where she said she wasn't gonna wait around on him. Okay, she didn't wait around on him, but she stayed bouncing on that zicky wicky. Anywho, so all right. So what else? Knowing how trash he is as a man, and clearly Jassi isn't gaining anything in this situation, you say you were done with him, but you were about to fly out. Okay. So she says they broke up officially after the Super Bowl, but she was still fucking on him in March and April. So I believe that it was this year's Super Bowl when she said, because they had took those pictures in Christmas time 2023. I think they shared a New Year's kiss in 2024. And then she came to the Super Bowl, saw Jassi was there in her seat. And then she was pissed. I think that's when she said she was done because she felt like they was doing too much. Like, y'all doing too much. Like, y'all doing too much. She said that's when she was really done with him. But you didn't, they were doing too much and you were done with him, but you had already seen pictures of her at the Super Bowl previously. So it really wasn't no surprise, but I guess it was a surprise because she was sitting in your actual seat. And you didn't take them as serious, but you felt like they were doing too much because I guess it was that serious for her to be at the Super Bowl, but then you continue to go on to smash him in March and April. Girl, everybody is like, no ma'am. Everybody, be mad. I don't care. Everybody is like, girl, So anywho, she says that she wasn't shocked about the engagement, but Jassi did tell her that wedding bells were in the near future. And she says that she thinks that all of it is fake. And because she believes that it's all fake, in my opinion, is a reason why she about considered to fly out and spend time with him. Girl, you're going to have to get your man. Because if he still operate like, as much as I'm on the baby mama ass, just a little piece, okay? I'm like, he's really the problem, girl. It's really him. Okay? It's really you, sir. Sir, you are the problem. How dare you? If you did offer her that, first of all, you got engaged to this woman in August, turn around trying to smash on the baby mama in during Halloween, trying to get her to come out and see you, and she almost did it. Okay? That's crazy. You out of line, sir. So far gone. But anywho, so she says that she wasn't shocked by that. So Keisha thinks that this is for the show, and I say, listen, bitch, I pray that it is. I pray that it is. Okay, I do. Charissa says that Darius called her and asked her if she was really going to do the podcast, and I think he may have called her about the reality podcast. And asked her if she was really going to do it. And in my opinion, I feel like he asked her if she was really going to do it because he was likely afraid of her telling some more of the storyline and things not adding up, which would result in him and Jassi being, butting heads again, back at it, okay? So she says that she's dating someone, and this sounds, in my opinion, very new. She says that she's looking forward to when he can meet her kids and stuff, but she won't do that until Darius approves that he's okay with that. I think this is some new stuff. I think whoever she's dating, I don't think it's anything that's serious. She said towards the end that she had just started opening herself up to dating. So the fact that you just started opening yourself up to dating is another indicator to me that she got played. Really, you know what I'm saying? Because I think she's so used to the back and forth with them that she never was expecting him to really, especially being a woman that's had his first two kids, she was never expecting him to go off and pursue somebody else and then move even quicker with her than he did with Charissa. So I understand if she feels a way about that, because I do feel like that's kind of fucked up, sir. So, what else? Darius has only seen the kids 5 to 6 times a year. She talks about that. And that was pretty much all that I wanted to capture from the interview. I did make a note to say, Charissa, thank you so much for sharing your story. I think you're a very beautiful woman. I don't think that you deserved any of what happened to you. I think you definitely gave out more than what you received in the end. I said, I do think that all of you guys, okay, were a part of the mess in this situation, but Darius, to me, is really the villain. He's really the villain. And I guess if he's all the bad things that you say and you truly are done at this particular point, then the good thing for you is that he's no longer your problem, you know? So definitely wishing her the best and good luck. All right. Now I want to get into the interview that Jassi had with Carlos that kind of may tie up some things that Miss Charissa said. So let us get into it. So first of all, Darius is there to be a part of the interview at the very beginning. And I said, whoa, I didn't know this was like an interview with both of them. I thought it was just her interview. But he was there for a little bit. When he was sitting there, girl, we learned some things. And when I learned what I learned, I said, girl, if you do not control, alt, delete, or moonwalk to the back, because I'm not hopeful. Well, let me say this. It's not that I'm not hopeful, but good luck. Good luck. I don't know how this gonna pan out for y'all. Hopefully it is a long-lasting relationship. But it was just a very bad way of entering into it with him withholding information, okay? Now, we learned that Darius is a Capricorn, and that was the thing for me. When Carlos made that face, I said, we see each other. Then when he said he was a January Capricorn, I said, ooh, shut up in my bones, okay? When you said that, girl, it's giving swindler. It's giving deceiver. And listen, I scoot up at my comments, okay? I'm not saying it's all Capricorns, all January Capricorns. I'm just going off of the experience that I have had with them. Now, y'all might be some good-ass friends. Real close, like, and she a Leo. We see each other, sis. Leo. I am on the cusp, okay? However, we see each other with the Leo. Friendship giving, yes. Over time, it's giving. Okay? So, it's giving clash, girl. But anywho, we wish you the best now. Okay, so they do talk a lot about housewives and how she became a part of the show and stuff. She talks about Jacqueline and how she's working with Jacqueline's, how Jacqueline is working with her stylist. She said she working with her stylist so that she could be a baddie from the what she said from the neck up and the neck down. I chuckled. Listen, these are the reasons why I'm still sitting on the bus of Jassi. Okay, one, I don't see her as the side chick people are trying to paint her out to be. I don't. Sorry. Number two is I'm not gonna fully fault her at this time, okay, for the NIGGA that she's with. She gonna have to come to her own terms and realize that he is or ain't the one for her, okay? When it comes to how she collects the girls on the show, that is why I'm on the bus. That is why I'm on the bus, and that is what I am here for, okay? Got this girl with her stylist so that she can be a baddie from the neck up to the neck down, bitch, okay? Love it, all right? Now, let's get into more. Carlos asked her about Mia being a liar. She says she's still getting to know Mia and says that she is genuinely not the type of person that likes to label people without truly getting to know them more. Now, with that being said, for me, I did make a note of, well, then why did you label Darius's ex / baby mom as someone who he has never been in love with, as if she was just some random chick, as if she didn't exist? Okay? Then why did you do that? I feel like you should have taken the opportunity to get to know her more. And around the time that y'all were filming, well, shit, I don't know. Because a lot of stuff really started happening with them this year. No. It started happening in 2023. 2023, March, April, they went out to Perry and stuff. Then she stopped talking to him for a period. Then they spun the block again in January 2024. Right? But so then I'm still right. You could have had a conversation with her at that moment once you saw her come to the game. Or something. But maybe you didn't know how serious it was going to get. You guys had just reconnected, you and him. But, yeah. All right. So, She talks more about Real Housewives of Potomac, and honestly, y'all, I really didn't give a damn about none of that. I really wanted to get into what I came there for, which was the timeline of the relationship. Okay. So this is when Darius, because he ended up leaving, right? This is when I feel Darius should have brought his ass back. He did towards the end, though. He did. So we get into some things, and it was a lot of confusion, but we got to it. Okay. So first, they met in 2020. They were just friends, and they didn't smash until 2023. Okay. Now, I told y'all they were probably just talking at first. Okay. They probably was just talking. I told y'all that's probably what happened. He took a whole year to convince her to fly out to see him. Okay. In 2023. She met his trifling mama and the family after the game. The family knew what the hell was going on. But then again, maybe he was telling them something different. I don't damn know, but they knew somebody else was existing. Carlos asked if Darius was in a relationship. Jassi says he was identifying as a single man. Instead of her just saying, well, he told me that he was single. He was identified as a single man. She says she does believe that he was involved with the baby mama, though, but she wasn't sure if it was an actual relationship. But she believed that they were involved, okay? She says, and then it started to be some confusion with him trying to get the timeline and stuff. So she was like, let me just explain. So she says they met in 2022. He flew her out in January 2023. So he was applying pressure throughout, what was that? I guess all of 2023 as well. They were never consistent, though, because she was an international flight attendant. She says she met him waiting on an Uber in LA. Okay, so she met him in 2022. When they met in 2022, it was just like maybe like text here or there. Like they really didn't really keep up a whole lot. She said she met him in LA. They were waiting on an Uber. He pulled up with his friends or whatever. They took him to the car, exchanged Instagrams or something like that, and then may have talked then. So he had been trying to get her to fly out to a game, and he waited he was trying the entire 2022. She finally flew out to a game in January 2023, which is when the ex started to get pictures and stuff like, oh, he brought this girl and whatever like that. Okay. So that's when that happened. All right. They were never really consistent throughout 2023, I believe she said. She was a flight attendant. They did spend some time together, though. I think that was right. They were never consistent. But see, that's where I'm confused about. Either I put the wrong time frame, because I have 2023, because what's in my head is how are y'all not really consistent, but y'all became serious in 2023 too. But I guess they weren't. But here's the thing. She says that in March and April, they flew out of the country to Paris. They stayed out there for a few weeks and stuff, hung out with each other, all of that. Okay. Very quickly, he told her he was in love with her, I think maybe in February or something like that. He told her he was in love with her February 2023. Flew her out to the game January 2023. They started to hang out and stuff. February, he said he was in love with her. By March, April-ish, they went and they flew to Paris. They spent some time together over there, overseas. Okay. By May, he got dropped from the team he was playing for. By June or so, I believe was when they broke up. Okay, and that's what Jassi said, but then Jassi said it may have been May when they broken up or something like that. But the girl, the baby mama said it was June. It was around that time, June, when they broke up. So I think that makes more sense. Like the June, if it was the end of May, early June, whenever they broke up around the June time frame. So that was real quick for y'all to act like y'all all in love with each other and everything. Okay, now. Carlos brings up the pictures with the kids. Okay, so y'all stopped talking to each other around June 2023, but you went to the Super Bowl January 2023. He was in love with you by February. Y'all went on a trip out the country March, April. He quit the team, or at least he got dropped from the team in May. Y'all broke up around June, but then by Christmas time, he's taking pictures with the baby mama, kissing on her. New Year's Eve, spent the night together, and then y'all rekindled in January 2024. So just days later, after being up under the baby mama, he pulls up on you trying to win you over. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Okay. So January 2023, she said she met his parents and they were getting to know each other. They hung out for a few days. She said it was no intimacy. They never did anything. Okay, cool. End of February 2023, they started getting serious. He asked her to be his girlfriend. She said she has high standards. She's always had high standards. Okay. I said, well, the standards not that high because he lying and you still there. All right. So March 2023, they traveled to Paris in a few weeks. Okay. She said she was madly in love based on the gifts and how he was treating her, in my opinion. Okay. She also had been to his home multiple times. In May 2023, he was released from the team and now he's worrying about taking care of himself and his son. No, not sons, because that little boy had been born by March when your ass decided you finna fly out of the country to go be with another bitch. Hell no. That's a problem for me. You over here spending money on me and flying me out to somewhere else when you just had a motherfucking baby. You need to be over there with your baby? I think not. I think not. I think not. Okay? So then, after a couple of months, she decided to take a step back because he had a lot going on. I said mentally. Okay? Because I feel like he may have been disrespectful as fuck with her because life wasn't going the way that he wanted. And she decided to take a step back. Okay. So he was not truthful about the baby on the way. She said that she had a dream, I think, when she was on that trip in Paris. So based on his actions, it led her to ask him, like, yo, is somebody pregnant or something? And he told her no. He said nobody was pregnant. I guess nobody was pregnant at that time. He wasn't lying, but he still was withholding the truth because the baby had been born in March when he decided to fly her out. And he knew this whole time that the baby was going to be born in March. Girl, that's disrespectful as hell. I would get the hell up off the table. But do what you do, girl. So anywho, he was not truthful about that. All right. So she does go on to say that technically he didn't lie because nobody was pregnant because the baby had been born. And it's like, Jassi, baby, don't make no excuses for this man because that's your husband. I mean, that's your fiance. All right. So the baby mama got pregnant in June of 2022. They had the baby around March of 2023. So when she got with him, and made it official, she may have just, that's what I put. And we ended up realizing that, okay, she may have just had the baby, and that's what we realized. She did just have a baby. Okay. Where are we now? Did I miss something? Hold on. Okay. So now on the show, I made a note to say, on the show, Jassi says that he didn't find out about the baby until, until 2 or 3 months later, which was a delay in her knowing about it. How would there be a delay in you knowing about it when the baby had already been here? Because it sounded like you were saying that she got pregnant, didn't tell him about the pregnancy until 2 or 3 months later. How was that? How would that be a delay in you knowing it? It was a delay not because of her. I don't like how it's being put as though it was her that delayed it. When the person that is delaying and misconstruing information as they relay it is your man. Okay. Now I said, Jassi, you lied on the show, but you're not lying on this part of the interview because part of it does line up with what the baby mama was saying. Okay. Part of it. Okay. Um, the 2 or 3 month delay wouldn't really matter. Now, I think Jassi does go on to say the family didn't know. They found out some time after him. So even if they found out time after him, which would have been that 2 or 3 month time frame, it would not have mattered to me because at the end of the day, by the time you came to the Super Bowl in 2024, them motherfuckers knew what the hell was going on. And as soon as y'all broke up in June, he went and hopped on that motherfucking baby mama and got her ass pregnant. No. I'm wrong. Because that was in 2020. No, that's right. 2023. No, no, no. The baby was born in 2023, so I'm wrong. No, no, no. Because y'all broke up in June. Wait. Okay, boom. Let us just go ahead and get into it, okay? Let's go and get back into it. I'm going to go through the timeline. I'm going to go through the timeline before we end this live, okay? I'm going to try to remember to go through the timeline, okay? So we can all make sense, okay? Anywho. So, where were we at? We were talking about I keep losing my spot, child. I keep losing my spot. Okay, let me go back down. Okay. So we were talking about when they met. She met him in 2022, flew her out January 2023. How she met him at the Uber or Uber spot or whatever. Okay. Now, Carlos, I believe this was the time frame. Carlos brings up the pictures, 2023 photos with the kids. January 2023, she met his parents, getting to know each other, hung out for a few days, no intimacy, got into all of that. They flew out to Paris and everything, okay? She says in May he was released from the team, and now he's worrying about taking care of himself and his son. Never mentioned the sons, just one. Couple of months after that, they decided to just take a step back. He wasn't truthful about the baby or anything like that, okay? The BM ended up getting pregnant in June of 2022. We got into all of that. She ended up having a baby March of 2023. All right? Now, we talked about what Jassi said on the show. Jassi not wanting to call this man a liar. Carlos asked her if she felt fooled by him and the family. She says, according to him, they found out late, or according to the family, they found out late like he did. That's what I was trying to get at. I don't believe that's fully true, okay? I said that's not what the baby mama said. She says they knew shortly after. So even if it was that 2 to 3 month time frame we talking about of when people found out, it still was before you came and he rekindled with you in January of 2024 or whatever. No, because I'm sorry, I keep getting those two mixed up. It still was before you came to the game, I think in January 2023. Like they still knew. Even though y'all didn't get serious until February 2023, the family knew in 2022, around whenever I guess the fall time, they knew. If she got pregnant in June on her birthday, 2 to 3 months later, they knew before you even came out in January 2023. So, anywho, but the BM did say that she got pregnant on Darius' B-Day, which is January with the first child. She got pregnant in June on her B-Day with the second child. And that's when I said, now, even if the family found out 2 or 3 months later of her being pregnant, they still knew by the time Jassi came to the Super Bowl in 2023. I said, no, now Jassi said that the mama was like, well, it's not our place. You know, that's his business. He needs to be man enough to tell you what's what. And that's true. But at the same time, child, y'all so fake. Anywho, so she says end of April, early May was when they decided to go their separate ways. And I said, now this is a lie because you just said that y'all were all good. And he was flying around that time. He was flying you out to Paris, everything. And after he lost his contract in May, you tried to support him for a few months, but he got a little too disrespectful for you. So you parted ways with him in June. And that is also what you said on Color Me Pink's channel. In the comments, you said that y'all broke up in June. Okay. The baby mama also said y'all were broken up around that time or whatever. So it is what it is. Okay. What else happened? So, she and he were broken up from June to January. During that time, he was back with the BM. I don't know why it's so hard for Jassi to just say it appears that they were back together according to those Christmas pics. Instead, she was just saying, well, I mean, basically, she keeps alluding to them being involved, but not saying that it was an actual relationship. Okay, but call it how you see it. If he's all in Christmas pictures and kissing on her cheeks and shit like that, like it's given they was in a relationship for me. That's what I'm gonna conclude to it. Okay, period. It's like it ain't. That's what I'm gonna get. All right. So, I said she needs to call him back into the room at this point so he can answer some questions. Now, she was dating someone else at the time, so she probably didn't really give a damn about what he had going on with the BM, honestly. Now, Carlos asked if she could really trust this man knowing that he lied to her. She says that she didn't have sure answers of what was going on until he came to Maryland in 2024. So I guess when he came to Maryland in 2024, begged her to be back with him, I guess that's when he decided to tell her everything. That's my assumption, because she said she didn't have short answers until he came to Maryland. in January of 2024. She says he did reach out to her though in August of 2023, like, hey, I got me a team. I feel so much better now. I want to get back with you, whatever. And she told him, no, I don't like how you handled me at that time. I think you mistreated me, and I'm not interested in getting back with you. So, congratulations on your team, but no thank you. That's what she says, okay? She says that in January 2024, that's when he flew to her, wanted to win her back, and she allowed it. She says that he told her he was on child support and that he was supporting the kids. That's what he told her, everything. But the BM said he was never on child support, and he's not on child support. So what I'm thinking is he sends her money every month. And maybe that's why he's saying he on child support, but it's not like a court order. All right. Now, he told Jassi about the Christmas pics and says that he did what he had to do to make sure that he's around his kids. And I said, wait, so you being all lovey-dovey? Now, granted, I will say, like I told y'all when I talked about it, I said, looking at the pictures at first, I was like, okay, well, some people like to, for the sake of the kids, for memories and stuff, they want to show that it's love between the parents. But when I swiped and I saw y'all kissing, I said, y'all doing that because that's what y'all want to do. Then I got shit to do with them kids. So for him to come and say that he do what he can to make sure he can see his kids sounds whack to me. She says she doesn't know the dynamics of the relationship. And I said, so you didn't inquire? I said, I refuse to believe that you have the friends that you have and nobody has sat up there and told you that the optics of this doesn't look or sound good and you need to do further investigation. I refuse to believe that. She says she never saw any sign of her on his page, never saw her page until she made the blogs this year. And I said, so how can you say he told you about the Christmas pictures in 2024 when he came to see you if you did not know anything about her page and what was on her damn page? You know they're not paying the rent. Like, that don't sound right. You said, yes, he told me about those Christmas pictures and everything and said that he did what he needed to do, for his kids. But you said that he told you about that in 2024 in January when he came down here to see you. So if that's the case, then how could he tell you if you said you didn't know anything about her pictures until she went viral earlier this month? When did he tell you this year? Later this year, not January 2024, November 2024. Okay, girl. So anywho, she says she talked to the BM and the BM felt like they got engaged super fast. And like I said earlier, the BM wasn't fully over him. She wasn't done. She may have been over him, but she wasn't done with him. I think she's used to the toxicness, as I've said, of their relationship, but always expect them to get back. And now she shook up because it's like, damn, I got your 2 kids. I've been with you this long. And then you turn around knowing that I want to be your wife, especially after what the pastor said. You're supposed to be my husband, but instead you go off and you decide to get engaged to this damn woman. Like, what the fuck? She definitely, I think she should be pissed. January 2024. He was found kissing the BM. January 2024, he also wooed Jassi days later, okay? Then she got engaged to him in August, all right? The BM alleged that she always gave him the option to leave the relationship, but he wanted to work it out. Now, this is what Carlos said he captured from an interview that that Charissa did. Okay, where she says she always gave him the option to leave the relationship. So Jassi says that she feels like when Charissa says that she's giving him the option to leave the relationship, she's really saying that if you don't be with me, you can't see your kids type thing. She says, right? She says, but she was also saying that he could not be a father if he wanted to. So that's what I got from it. I'm paraphrasing. That basically what she's hearing when she says, I'll give you, like, you can leave if you want to. But he was hearing that, oh, if I leave, I can't be a father of my kids. So I'm going to do what I got to do and act like we in this relationship for my kids. Like, stop lying. Jassi, I feel like you're too intelligent of a woman to let this man sit up here and play you out in your damn face, all because you feel like he's connected to the NFL and got some fucking money. And all because you feel like, oh, well, he's treating me like he's my husband and he's doing this and he's wooing me and all of that shit. But I feel like treating you as your husband is also respecting you when it comes to the dynamics of his past relationship. and giving you an update and letting you know, treating you like your husband is letting you know up front, like, hey, I have a 1-year-old. I know this is after us moving forward into a relationship, but I want to put everything out there on the table to see if this is something you're even interested in embarking on, because a lot of women don't want to deal with a man that's about to have a child. I feel like you are so blinded in love, in my opinion, and you're not really looking at all of this because it's not making sense to me. And everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. And then you know what what's her name? What Watch Jazzy says about Cam Newton. Okay, you don't know what you'll do when $1 million nigga put that pressure on you. Okay, so maybe he put some pressure on you or something like that. But it's like, it ain't that much pressure in the world for your ass to fly out to go to Paris to be with one woman when the other woman is having your motherfucking child around the same time. It's the father in the room. Now, I don't think that's cool. All right. So, what else? We learned that the two ladies met each other for the first time at the 2024 Super Bowl. She was in her seat. She said once she got there, she got up and got up out that girl's seat and let her sit there. That's not something that Charissa mentioned. Charissa didn't say the girl got up. She just said that she was in her seat. She felt the way about it. But if she got up, at least say she at least got up for me. But anywho, it ain't that big of a deal. All right. Jassi says that Charissa knew she was going to be at the game because Darius' mom told Jassi that Charissa knew she was going to be at the game. Then Charissa says actually what they wanted was for the kids to come to the game with Darius's mom. But they're saying that Charissa said no. Okay? No, because what she said, if my kids are gonna be there, then I'm gonna be there too. Okay, because and I believe that, and the reason why I believe that is because if she knew that girl was gonna be there, she doesn't feel comfortable with her being around her child. She first found out about the girl in 2023 when pictures were captured of them at the damn Super Bowl and it was sent to her. So now she knows about the girl. So even if the girl can't check on her page and see what the hell going on, she's able to check on the girl's page to see what the hell going on. Did I say that right? Even though, let me say this. Even though Jassi can't check on even though Jassi cannot check Charissa's page because according to her, she didn't know anything about her. Charissa is now able to check her page because now she has information on her. But anywho, I believe that she could have went. She could have went because she didn't want to lay around her kids. It is what it is, okay? And she already don't like the family too damn much her damn self. So yeah, you want your kids there, then my ass gonna be there too. That's what it's giving. But then also gotta understand, she was just kissing on this man January 1st, taking pictures with him. I can see it being a situation, like I said earlier, where it was never said that they were in a relationship, but because the relationship has been so toxic, they just fall back into the roles of what they have always been doing and just assume that they're back together, right? So it is what it is. And that's when I believe Charissa says when she saw her there, she was sitting in her seat, whatever like that. She said that's when she was really done because she felt like, oh, y'all doing too much now. You got this girl here with the family and this bitch in my seat. Oh, y'all doing too much. I'm good. That's when she said she was done. But was she? No, she wasn't. Because she goes on to admit that she was fucking on a girl man back in March and April of this year. That's a mess as hell. Okay. Period. So she says, now what Jassi says is that he may have told her that Jassi was not going to be there in order for her to come and bring the kids. She says, because that was the main thing, he wanted his kids there. Right? That's what she say. But yeah, anyway. So Jassi went to the game as a family with his family. And the mom told her that Charissa knew she was going to be there. Jassi says that she isn't trying to disrespect Charissa and says that she's a great mom to those kids. Charissa arrives and she was pissed, just as the BM said she was. Charissa was pissed. Jassi says she thought it was a whole other woman okay, that had his second child. She didn't even know that it was the same woman. My thing is BITCH. When he came to you in January and told you everything about the damn kids and him having a child or whatever the fuck he may have told you at that time, if that's true, then why did it not click for you that it was the same baby mama? Why did you not ask if it was two baby mamas or if it was just one? And see, this is the thing. I know a lot of people feel like Jassi is lying, and for me, I don't think she's full on lying about everything, and I don't think that um she was a side chick or any of that. Let me say this, my biggest issue with Jassi is her gullibleness. That's what's killing me softly. Her being gullible. My issue with Jassi is her idea of a fairy tale love that's not really giving fairy tale. That is my problem with her. Okay? My issue with Jassi is her not being able or desiring to see beyond the roses. That would be my issue with her. Do better. I feel like you still got time. Okay, you still got time. Don't let a motherfucker sit up there and play you. So anywho, so she said everything happened before her and it's none of her business what he did when they weren't together. I said, but what is your business is the man that you're about to marry. That's a liar. Okay? Because if he'll lie about that, then what else? The fact that January took place and you didn't even know that the kids were by the same mom, and but the mama told you that the BM knew about you. That's not really adding up. So did you really think it was by somebody else? So there's some communication that's not making sense here. Okay. So she says she didn't take a dig at her about being the only one. She says that it was more about the other ladies taking a dig at her relationship. And I was like, well, no, Jassi, that's how you brought it up. You presented it as if he had no other women and no other relationships mattered before you. Okay. And I would be with you if he didn't have children with this one. Okay, so yeah. She also says that she was on the defense. She apologizes to Charissa for never considering how things may have made her feel, and she's working on that moving forward, that when she does things, she considers how she may feel in those situations. She says that she would rather go to the source. I said, you rather go to the source, but you never went to the BM until it was time to tell her, like, hey, we're about to get married. That's where you have the conversation. Now she's saying it was a fake page that reached out to her and was threatening to expose the Christmas pics, when at one point she was saying that she believed it was the baby mama. Okay. They last spoke to each other back in 2024 to inform her of the engagement. We talked about that. She says they are in a good place now. And I said, are you sure? Because the reality interview was filmed 4 days ago. I don't know when Color Me Pink's interview was filmed, but if it was filmed this week at all, it's not giving that y'all really in that great place that you say. That's just what I'm thinking, okay? Now, Darius comes back to the interview because Carlos summoned him, and Carlos lets Darius know that he wasn't truthful. I said, come on. Carlos asked why he kept this information from her. Darius was honest. He said that he was being a coward. He knew that he wanted to be with her, and he felt like if he told her this, that it could potentially lead her to not wanting to be with him. Okay? Carlos calls him out about the holiday pics and the kiss. Darius says that he know what it may look like, but they were not together, and he denies having sex with her. Now, I will say, Jassi looked at him and said, babe, don't lie now. Like, did y'all have sex or what? He's still sticking to his lie, which is they didn't. I don't believe him. It sounds to me, based on how the baby mama talked, that every time they got together, they was hunching. And I would only believe that they did not do anything around the Christmas pics if her cycle was on. Okay? But again, she's believing they're in a relationship at this point. So I very well believe that it went down. Okay? Now, Jassi says, and then it's like, why would you lie about that, considering the fact that you wasn't even with Jassi at the time? You didn't get her back until January. So whatever y'all did, she already said whatever happened before her, she don't care. or whatever happened when y'all weren't together, she doesn't care. So you came out better just keeping it a buck. Still lying. So he says that he can Carlos asked like how can she trust you or why should she or whatever. He says she could trust him going forward because the biggest thing that he hid from her was him not telling her that he had another child. Okay, he said there's nothing else to hide. And I said, well, according to the BM, it must be. Because you just hunched on her in April and March and you was very well with Jassi. Okay, then she said you tried to get her in October and then the other situation from last week. So what's really good? All right. Now, Jassi admits that Darius is no angel and he has lied to both of them and says that she just wants a healthy dynamic and sends love to the baby mama. Okay. She says her only goal is, to make sure that she has the respect she's supposed to have and that there's a healthy dynamic for the kids. Okay. I, for me, said this. I still like Jassi. In the time that she will learn, I said in time, just like I said earlier, she'll learn what's best for her, what's not best for her when it comes to this man. When it comes to her on the show and how she reads the girls, I'll be here for it. But if she lying about something or if it don't make sense, I'm definitely going to call it out. Okay. And some of the things that she said in this interview does not fully, add up. But then things the BM said did not fully add up, okay? But more importantly, what does add up for me is that Darius is the villain. And he's full of shit, okay? And that's just how I feel about that. But let me get into this timeline one more time, and then we go get the hell up out of here, okay? Because I have overstayed my welcome for sure on all of this damn drama. First of all, in 2020, okay, the BM meets Darius. She gets pregnant, from my understanding, in 2021. All right. I believe it was 2021. She gives birth to the little boy. You know what? I may have that confused. I'm thinking she gave birth to that little boy in 2021. But she could have actually I'm not sure when she had the first son. Okay. But she does, in 2022, she gets pregnant again, okay? That's really what we're getting into, okay? She gets pregnant again around her birthday in 2022. In 2022, Jassi also meets Darius, but they don't cross any lines. He's not courting her, none of that. They're more so communicating, via text or whatever, okay? 2023, he has Jassi at the Super Bowl, okay? 2023, in February, Jassi and him makes it official. In March of 2023, she's flew the hell out. In March of 2023, the BM has the baby. Okay. In May of 2023, he gets dropped from a team. In June of 2023, Jassi is done with his ass. Okay. Now, Jassi and him remain broken up from June to December of 2023. Okay. He gets back with the BM at some point because they take Christmas pics with each other in 2023, December. All right. 2024, he goes and he's kissing the baby mama for New Year's, right? Then days later, he goes and links up with Jassi to win her back. 2024, he has Jassi at the Super Bowl. Jassi and the baby mama meet each other for the first time at the Super Bowl. Okay. BM says she was done, but she really wasn't. Turns around and smashes on him in March/and April, from my understanding, of 2024. So while Jassi is over there filming, her man is out here hoeing, okay? June 2024, the BM and Jassi have a conversation because they're about to get engaged. August 2024 is when they got engaged. October 2024, he goes to see the kids and wants to smash the BM. BM says she refuses. In November 2024, he wants her to fly out. She almost flew out. He must have pissed her off or something. She changed her mind. Okay. November 2024. Here we are with all these goddamn interviews. Okay. So I'll let y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. And I know y'all gonna do that anyway, because it's just how y'all is. I'm sorry that this video may have been so long and may even have been drawn out and even confusing at times. Okay. But I watched both interviews. I wanted us to get into it and try to break down this timeline so that it can make some sense. And based on this timeline, Jazzy wasn't necessarily wrong, because people thought that he was in a relationship with the girl and he had a baby on her, when some of that ain't really true. But in a sense, it kind of is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's not true as far as her being like a side chick, because she wasn't. But at the same time, it is like he did kind of have a baby on you because he didn't tell you about it. And he had the baby the same time he was traveling with your ass. So it's a mess. It's a whole mess, okay? It's a mess, but the end result is that he's the villain. That is all that I have for you guys at this time. I am Jami. That's me, honey. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JamiThatsMe. And child, I will catch y'all in the next one, honey. Bye-bye.
My city and cul-de-sac, coming out swinging like soldier rag, leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda, we hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be